Hello learners, welcome back to the course on construction methodology. In this lecture, we'll try to see what are the construction safety that we need to practice while working at the site. There are certain, precautions that a site engineer has to take. There are certain safety measures that we need to take while working at the site. And we'll try to see it from site point of view as well as design point of view. The one which you're seeing right now, all these are from site point of view. And once I try to explain how much safe is my building, this is considering design point of view. We'll try to see how safe a building is and how safe what are the precautions that we need to take while working at the site. We'll look after that one by one. So this is what written here: safety first and economy second. Always for a civil engineer or for a structure engineer, for us safety is important, right? And once the safety is done, we'll try to play with the economy, because if you try to play with the economy first, then you're compromising with the safety. And if you're trying to compromise with the safety, then two things is going to happen. From the execution point of view, what will happen? The building is going to come down. Let us say you compromise with the quality of the concrete and all. Then what has happened is, your because the strength is not achieved, the slab or the beam or whatever you are casted has collapsed. That is from execution point of view. In the same way, if I say from design point of view, let us say you've done the reinforcement for the beam or slab or whatever element it may be. In order to decrease the cost of the project, let us say there is a requirement of 3 bar of 16 diameter. Let us say your beam required 16 diameter, 3 bar at the top. But since you took economy first and safety later, instead of providing 16 diameter of 3 bar, you have provided only 16 diameter of 2 bar. Because by saving 1 bar, you actually have reduced the cost of the structure. That is fine, but what about the safety? Because the actual requirement was 16 diameter 3 bar at the top, where you're providing only 16 diameter 2 bar. So what will happen? This will go, if economy is compromised, then safety will go up. I mean, there is no safety, the safety of the building will be less. If more safety is there, then even though economy goes little high, that is fine. Even if a building becomes a bit uneconomical, that is fine, because safety is important, right? At the end of the day, we human beings have to be alive in order to stay in that structure. If we are not alive, then what is the point in keeping the building? I mean, what is the point in saving the money? So this is always a slogan for a civil engineers, or say for a structural engineers. Always for us, safety is first and economy is second. So we'll try to see that. So while working at the site, always safety is first. That we always seen that, right? So while working at the heights, always wear the safety belts. So this is how it happens. Let us say you're working at a height, then always you have to wear the safety belts, because even if just in case if you fall down or something happens, if there is a slip, what will happen? This safety belt will save your life, right? So that is why always when you're working at the site, not you, when the laborers are working at the site, we as an engineer should make sure that the laborers are wearing all these safety belts. And now there will be safety officer when you work in the big projects, but as a site engineer, it's our duty as well to take care all these things. So these are certain electrical wiring they have done. So again, there will be a safety officer who will take care of all these things, so that you don't these wires, what is happened, they have fallen here and there. So even this should not happen. Let us say due to some short circuiting, and also if something happens, then fire will broke up in a building. So even all those things should be kept into mind. Anyhow, safety engineer, the safety guy will take care of all these things. But as an engineer, we also should try to check all these things, so that no problem occurs in the site. And always you have to wear the safety shoes. This is must for all the civil engineers. You have to always wear the safety shoes. And also these are the certain things, like this is called as a reflector. You can call it as a jacket. And this is a helmet. This is a must. Safety shoe, the reflector, and the helmet is must for a civil engineer. And these are certain safety equipments, we can say. This is a jacket, and this is a shoe, a gloves, and a goggles, and this is a mask. So these are the certain safety things we need to put on when we work at the site. So, and always, as we saw, there are certain quality checks. In the same way, we have certain safety checks. We'll try to see that. So these are the work site information. So what is written? What is that? Safety awareness slogans displayed or not, right? Displayed or not. when you work in big projects and all, this is a common SOP that we adopt, that is standard operating procedure, that you have to do the insurance of the company, of the laborers, safety posters on the job displayed or not, are the first aid reports of injury forms filled or not, are emergency numbers displayed. Because when you work in big projects, let us say something happened, then you don't know whom to contact. So all these things should be, all this prior information should be given to the contractor as well as to the laborers, so that they reach to the right person at the right time, right? So this is how it is. Let us say you're doing some deep excavation here, then this is written, it's written here, it's a danger deep excavation, and this protective equipment must be worn on this side, that is you have to wear your boot and a hat. All these things are, you know uh, displayed wherever it is possible. Again, our weekly safety meeting held with the contractors or not, right? All these things will be done when you work in the big projects. All these are mandatory things. Again, we'll try to see this is how it looks, right? So this guy is wearing a what is that, safety belt, and when he's working at the heights, and look at this guy, he's also wearing a safety belt. And also these are the other thing, is housekeeping on the job satisfactory? Because when you work in the big projects, there are a lot of materials stored here and there, right? So you cannot store the material the way you like here and there. There are certain ways to store them and all, so that when you go there you can easily find the material. Is there a regular disposal of waste and trash? Because since you're working in a very big project, you have a lot of laborers working, like, let us say 500 to 600 laborers are working there, your contractors working with you have a site supervisor working with you, you have a site engineers, you have project manager, you have site manager. So there are a lot of people involved in the project. So all these things should be taken into consideration, right? Look at here, are materials stacked properly or not? So all these things, this is how it is, like this is a reinforcement barrier. On this thing, what we are going to do, shielding the protruded ends of the reinforcement at the side. And these are the safety nets. When you work at a height, even though you're wearing the safety, what is that, belt, it's always better that you put this safety nets here. Even if by mistake if someone falls, he'll be safe inside this net. Again, this is how you have to keep the material. This is called as proper zoning of material at the site. You cannot throw the material here and there. Let us say you want to move your vehicle here, so in that case all these things should be stored in these places. So I can look at this, it's a good housekeeping at the construction site, right? All these materials are kept in a better way, so that you can make a movement here. Let us say you want to take your vehicle here, you can take it. So this is how it is done. And this is a poor housekeeping at the construction site. Look at this, here they have kept the hollow, I mean the cement blocks here. The half of the blocks have fallen here, and look at all these bars and all, they kept it here. So this is a poor housekeeping at the construction site. So all these things should be taken into consideration, and how the safety in charge will take all these things in consideration. But as a site engineer also, we should make sure all these things are happening. I mean, we will take a, I mean, we also need to give equal importance to this as well, right? So that is what, yeah, we'll go back to this. Again, it's the same thing, everything, whether the safety belts are worn or required or not, gloves worn as required or not, are the persons wearing the hard hats or not. All these are the these things, safety checks that happen. Like when you work in a big projects, you have auditing and all, like every 2 or 3 months those auditing person will come to your site, they'll do the checking and all. So these are certain guidelines that you need to follow. So when you work in big companies, you will have to follow all these things, right? So whatever we saw right so far, all this safety was from site execution point of view, right? So this is the safety that this is the safety that we need to work at the site.